Do we eat one of these and it like coats our palate and it's like for like a few hours?
I'm assuming we chew it. And then let it sit for a few minutes. We'll keep the dialogue going.
Miracle fruit tablets.
Here,
10 tablets. So are we...
So there are instructions, too. Oh, man.
And on the back, I see all the different flavors that are possible.
Oh, dude, this episode's going to be gnarly. Not as painful as a one-chip challenge, but probably similarly in the realm of misery. I just hope this doesn't last forever. You ready to get this episode started?
Yeah. Let's get it.
So I love that term, think tank. Think tank. I mean, you know what a think tank is? Like, how's a think tank go, James?
Yeah, they got cancel culture nowadays. You gotta watch what you say. It's getting real scary out here.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't know if I can take the conversation here, but we might as well. It's the Rethink Tank. Looks like you had a little bit too much to think here in the Rethink Tank.
Hey, what's going on, everybody, and thanks for joining me again. We are at episode 100. It took a while with a lot of different avenues, with all the different shows going on in the Rethink Tank now. It took longer to get to, I think, the milestone 100 than I anticipated or had hoped. But I couldn't have a better guest to kick off such a momentous episode than my good friend and partner in a lot of these shows now, Brian Seamall. Brian, how you doing?
Oh, I'm fantastic. Just another day, another laugh.
What makes Brian the perfect guest for today's episode is because 50 isn't the biggest of milestones, but to me, it was halfway to a milestone. And so I did a bit of a celebration for episode 52, and we had a bunch of friends on, and we did the one-chip challenge. And honestly, I do not want to underplay how truly miserable that was. Yeah. I don't know if you, reminisce on that ever, but,
It's not a highlight in my life.
Without you bringing that ice cream... we all kind of brought stuff. Brian came prepared. He had a heavy whipping cream.
Yeah, whole milk, ice cream, beer.
Beer
helped me. It didn't help anybody else.
Yeah, it didn't really help me, but it was coming through for you. Yeah. The ice cream, though. If I didn't have that ice cream...
was everything.
Oh, I was cooked without it. So... to avoid the pain that was episode 50, but staying within the same realm of challenging ourselves, we have picked up the mBerry, the miracle berry. So what is this thing? How does it work? Berry. So mBerry, an Arizona-based company, offers revolutionary new taste sensation through a line of all-natural miracle berry products. mBerry contains no sugar or additives, and through a 100% naturally occurring phenomena, turns sour, acidic, and bitter flavors into sweet. Lemons become sweet lemonade, apple cider vinegar assumes the flavor of apple juice, and strawberries transform into powdered sugar. Made from the finest selection of miracle berries, mBerry elevates your taste experience to a level of unparalleled sweetness. The effects of miracle berry are made possible through a glycoprotein called miraculin, which is funny. Miraculin, contained in the berry's pulp, which had been compressed into a tablet form. And so now what Brian and I are going to do is chew up a tablet each. And you know what, Brian? They have actually a list of things here, good or curious. There's some adventurous ones. We've got a bunch of these too. So we've actually got a good amount of the ones here on the list, and so we'll check them off if we want.
Yeah.
But starting here with the mBerry, 0 calories, 0 total fat, 0 protein and vitamins. It's just drugs.
Yeah, we're just dropping tabs. Tabs of mBerry.
Episode 100. dropping tabs.
For all you ASMR fans out there.
Yeah, for the people that aren't watching the episode, I still don't know how you're doing that, but I get it. Maybe one day we'll get you over to the YouTubes or the Rumbles because you really want to watch something like this. Brian, I'm trying to rip your little piece off, but you know what? My pill's out, so you can take yours. All right, folks, we're doing the mBerry. mBerry. Flipping our taste buds from sour, bitter to sweet. All right. Dink.
Cheers.
Maybe we suck on it?
Yeah,
Suck on it.
Okay.
It's incredibly hard. They didn't tell you that the mBerry is incredibly sour. This thing's sour, dude.
Yeah. Okay.
Make sure you get it all over your palate. You don't want any bit of your mouth accidentally tasting the sardines you made us get.
Yeah, this isn't exactly pleasant of a taste.
Not at all.
I would almost call it like a stale dried grapefruit.
Yeah, I mean, it's very sour. It's very sour, but maybe that's what you got to do. To neutralize the sour in your palate, you got to attack it with overly sour. All right, so as this kind of ferments in our mouth, you and I really need to start kicking off the dialogue. We're going to have a podcast here while we experience this weird taste sensation. Brian.
I'm like salivating right now.
Yeah, me too. This is pretty heavy. But hey, last time we had to try to do an episode with our mouth on fire, so.
Do a little swish.
The theme of this bad boy is going to be the milestone of making it to something like 100. What it's like being in this realm of content creation, being on the internet, trying to expand a brand and make connections and actually make an impact with people. And the experience with that. And now you being a part of the team and you're being kind of in the, more juvenile infant stages of this thing, right. But also being able to be in a world where you're working with people that kind of have some of that experience. So it expedites that growth a bit.
Absolutely.
So I want to reminisce first on what kind of provoked me as I sip my Toronto Blue Jays Gay Cup.
My tablet is
around.
Just
getting close.
It's just finishing up. I think I just got the last little remnants.
What provoked me to start this thing from the beginning? I get asked all the time, like, what is your podcast? Because everybody has a podcast. Blah, 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 blah. I was stranded in Pennsylvania in an extremely liberal school. Joe Biden was a professor at my school.
Wow.
At the time, it wasn't as embarrassing to say. Now, here we are.
Come on, man.
But I sit here and, it was a school that predominantly focused on government. That was something that enticed me at the time. So I wanted to focus on that. But I was very alone. At a time where Trump just became president, the Socratic method, which was learning by questioning and pondering and having diverse dialogue, that was stifled super fast in the highest level of education. It was incredibly disappointing. And so I felt alone. As I'm sitting in 2017, it's the first time I hear dialogue going after Chief Wahoo that actually had legs. Like, we need to get rid of Chief Wahoo. Right. It wasn't the name the Indians. The first target was Chief Wahoo.
Yeah.
This damned team up north in Canada, they actually, in the World Series, we were in the playoffs. The year we went to the World Series against the Cubs, when we played the Blue Jays, they actually passed legislation, expedited legislation, to make our logo illegal. Wow. So that we couldn't have our logo in their stadium just to throw us off our game during the playoffs, even though we had already played there during that season. And they wanted to make a social position, make a stand. Fortunately, the MLB took a stand and was like, if you're going to outlaw it, then every game's going to play in Cleveland. And they saw how that played out. So, of course, they let it go. So, I'm sitting in Pennsylvania, and this is the first time there's actually an attack at Chief Wahoo, and to me, it felt necessary to create an opposing dialogue.
Right.
Because all I heard was how terrible this logo is, how racist the people are, and there was nothing that balanced the dialogue. Well, the people that are in favor of Chief Wahoo, maybe why? Or how about instead of whitewashing a piece of Native American history,
right,
let's acknowledge that this is to reflect upon the first Native American to play in the American League, Louis Sockalexis, a person that is a forgotten name that won't exist anymore, that's just fallen by the wayside. I got a little piece of that tablet left, and I'm just
Mine
swishing
finished
around.
as soon as I was saying it was done.
Well, yeah, I'm still.
I had chewed on it, so mine went quicker.
I want to make sure. I really don't want to taste those sardines, so I'm trying to make sure.
I'm excited to taste them.
I bet you are, dude. Knowing you. So, it was what promulgated me to jump in. And I started the show with a friend of mine that had a good balance to our dialogue, but to me, he was also similar. And he agreed at the time. We were similar. We were both moderates. We weren't on one side or the other, which was a fair way to approach any of these topics.
Yep.
Then we had the Las Vegas shooting.
Yep.
And this was like 4 or 5 episodes into it. We had a gun expert on. And my friend my co-host at the time, wouldn't release to me the footage because we weren't in a badass studio like this.
Yeah.
Where did this show start? The evolution was...
I remember the backdrop.
Dude, even before that.
Yeah.
These first few episodes was the kid I did the show with. His dad was a lobbyist in Harrisburg, right? Because that's the capital.
Okay, yeah.
His dad had one of his workers, somebody that worked for him, and it wasn't a colleague. It was somebody that was like in
the biz.
Right.
Not of
and
shooting
a lobbyist.
Vegas people, but
well, so this guy, he had a podcast studio in his basement.
Sketch.
It was a closet that he turned into a podcast studio. It literally was a folding table, one central microphone that all the guys sat around and talked into, and like blankets stapled to the walls around him. And
Seems
they
legit.
didn't actually have a video element. So we go into this thing, we're using his microphone, that's plugged into my computer, so I have the audio.
Yeah.
But we would literally hang his iPhone on a wall, and that's how we would get the video. Like, for the longest time, this show was filmed off of an iPhone. And, one camera angle, crazy.
Yeah.
So my co-host at the time, while at the time agreed with everything we talked about, it wasn't extreme, it was just moderate.
Yeah.
Consideration of like the facts. And mainly it was about guns. We really didn't talk about Las Vegas.
Okay.
He wouldn't release to me the video. And I'm like, what? And he's like, this is just too provocative. I don't want to take the risk. Blah, 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 blah. So quickly learning somebody that could hold an episode hostage like that, I needed to move on. I needed to take the show in a different direction.
Yeah.
So now I'm on my own.
And you just spent all this time, looking back, how significant was that time to you?
It was nothing. But it is fun looking back at it and going, from the bottom, now we're here. Like from a stranger's basement closet to my bedroom in law school, I had an iPhone sticky tacked to my dresser with like 5 lamps without the shades on them to get the lights, not giant studio lights. It was just taped together. And it was real nice when you'd have like a nice law school girl, for the podcast, and then your bed was right there too. It was smooth transitions. But like,
I'm a
got
podcaster.
A couch. We got a couch.
I do this all the
We got a couch
time.
in the studio, so it's the same deal.
Hey.
But so
Cheers, brother.
There was something humble and fun to being in something like that, knowing that it also wasn't permanent.
Right.
But then the pandemic hits. I graduate law school. I need a home. We had a family shopping center where a space was let out,
Okay.
and it's just sitting there vacant.
Right.
But the catch was, Dad looks at me and says, the second we have a lease, you're out. I took a trip to Colorado for a ski trip, came home Friday. Dad looks at me, you got to be out Sunday. And so now we got to get this the first time we actually put together a studio.
Yeah.
But I couldn't really settle in and make it my home
Right.
like I did
Because you knew you had
this
to be
space.
out in a moment's notice.
Exactly. So it was like a half home. And getting that rug ripped out from under me, I knew this is a make or break moment. And you can either squirm or make the most of what you have.
Yeah.
And so I made sure to find a way to keep the wheels moving.
And keep a very efficient.
So I went on the road and I took this show to all different places.
Right.
From our buddy Kemp's Pond to the basement of Quick Mysteries recording studio. And
all the way out to L.A.
And all the way out to LA.
Where Kanye did his podcast.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that was a perfect way to end the chapter of being on the road.
Yeah.
Was being flown out to LA to do the show. And again, my buddy doing the show with us is sitting in the same chair Kanye was. Yeah. I was upset. I walk in and I'm like, whoa, this is not the set I paid for. Like, we had it planned and coordinated to have it set up in a certain way. And they go, well, Kanye was here yesterday, and this is how he wanted it, and this is how it was going to be, because you're not Kanye West.
Yeah.
And very quickly you go, okay, no, I get that.
Yeah, I'll take Kanye's. I'll sit next to where Kanye sat.
Dude, it is really cool having the side-by-side of my buddy in that chair and then Kanye from that podcast, like, right next to each other. Yeah. And then to come back to, like, something legitimate. And so, yes, the last few months, did it kind of slow up getting us to 100? Sure. But something that's really cool about being here now is we've got a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
Every Tuesday, everybody's here. We've got 4 people at least, a crew.
Practice banging out episodes.
That's it. We got the kinks out.
Yeah.
We even got the ugly parts out. A lot
was
of
a
those
lot of
things were
ugly
live
parts.
to an audience of nobody for a good reason. All right. Before we continue the dialogue, we do truly need to start. We need to break the seal.
Yeah.
I think we've swooshed and let ferment the berries in our mouth enough.
Oh, it has caked on my mouth. It is ready to taste some palates.
I think first, let's go with something easy. Okay. Let's go with an orange.
Okay.
An orange.
Orange.
A thing that is normally enjoyable, right?
Yep.
And I also think, hopefully, because I don't want to jump into a lemon too soon. Like, what if it needs to ferment a little bit longer and then the lemon actually is still kind of miserable?
Yeah.
As I get just juice all over my brand new keyboards. Sorry, Brian. I should have just cut it down the middle, but I wanted like nice little slices that we could eat.
Do you want me to start working on something
else? How can you peel a lemon?
I can.
Let's try.
I can get it pretty down to the good stuff.
All right, that's all that matters, because I'm not doing that with these
with a butter knife. I don't know.
All right, so as I'm peeling, let's. So it was cool. It's a cool transition. We're at a place now. You and I here on a Sunday. We have a live show every Sunday now as a break from all of the brain exercises that we're doing.
Palate cleanser, if you will.
A palate cleanser. And today's episode that just came out, we did Cops, reaction to Cop videos. Dude, I'm amazed. You thought of this. I didn't. I'm amazed at how splashy just this whole experience is.
Yes.
I've got juices everywhere. Jesus. Sorry, Brian.
This is the most difficult thing I've ever had to
I
cut.
wanted to make it pretty for you, but I didn't.
And, hey, it looks great.
All right. While you're doing that, let's try an orange.
All right.
I'm going to take a bite of this orange. Extra sweet. Extra sweet. It's very sweet. Here's something I want to try.
It should be better.
If you bite the orange peel, it's nowhere near as miserable as it normally is. If that says anything. You want to try a little bite of orange peel? Sure. It's nowhere near as bad as like trying an orange peel normally would be. He bit it. He ate it. Dude's eating it. He's eating it. He just threw it in.
It's not bad.
There is no berry pill that's getting me to do that.
I got a little bitter on it, but
we're on the first thing of the day. And remember how I opened the episode? We're going to feel sick. Brian just eats the orange peel.
I still taste the bitter. It came through.
You know what?
It wasn't as potent as orange peel normally is.
Yeah, that's right. It wasn't as potent, but you could taste it. And you ate it. You can see it in your face. The orange is really sweet, though, dude. Like, I'm loving the orange. Normally,
it's a little sweeter. It's a little sweeter than I like, but
yeah, it is like really sweet.
It's almost like a frosting.
Dude, it does. Yeah. Like, you know what? It tastes like if you were to get like a Wendy's, like orange thing.
Frosty, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where it's like overly sweet
or
orange.
like a creamsicle.
Well, then hopefully that means something terribly miserable like a lemon balances it out. All right, cheers. We're diving in.
Big guy.
mBerry.
mBerry.
Miracle Berry.
Lemon.
That actually does taste pretty good. Tastes like lemonade. He just ate it again. Brian's gut.
Let's try the peel, too. Not great.
Not great.
Oh, man.
Social credit deducted.
It's still kind of like a lemon, but like moderately bitter.
Here's what I want to say. Eating the lemon does taste really good.
Yeah. It was like you said, lemonade or like a
The peel, not so much.
peel. A little bit more
I just
bitter.
took a bite of the peel, not so much.
No, yeah, not recommended.
But I could mess with these lemons.
Yeah,
All right,
lemon, highly recommended.
you start dicing up one of these limes.
Okay.
I'm going to get the grapefruit going. Man, this thing's honking. This is huge. Dude, hold on. I got to do this. I'm putting a couple paper towels over my soundboard.
Good call. Good call.
And then I'm going to put a couple over here over like my keyboard and my mouse. Just in case
A little extra protection.
Yeah. But it is saying like we should have luck with pickles and bitter stuff as well. So it's not just sour. Brian had so much, he had a much better prediction of how this was going to go than I did. The mess this is creating so much more than I expected. All right.
Working in the food industry for 12 years. Oh, dope.
What
a beautiful cut.
Big
How did
slice.
you do that?
I'm a man. Wow. All right.
Impressive.
Big slice of grapefruit. Cheers.
Normally not a grapefruit fan. Out of all
Me
the
neither.
fruits, it's one that I just kind of go,
Oh, dude. This is amazing.
Tolerable.
I've never liked the grapefruit. You know, I remember being a kid and my mom's like, no, what you do is you cut them in half and then you pour sugar on them and then you dig it out. And I'm like, no. There's still not enough sugar on top to make the misery beneath it good.
Yeah, the bitter's still coming through. Probably because I got some rind on it. But
You're eating him. Dude ate it like a giant orange smile. Just.
But it's definitely like there's sugar on it.
Dude, this is yummy.
Oh, that's so bad.
You can spit it out, dude.
No, it's just bad. It's not like gagging or anything. Oh. Yeah, don't eat Don't eat grapefruit rind.
Dude, I could, with these chewables, I could eat a grapefruit all day. This is, to me, is better than an orange.
Yeah. But not
Big
the rind.
fan.
Not
Big
the
fan.
rind. Don't eat the rind.
All right, while you're getting that going, I think it's time we change it up. We're heavily on the fruit theme. So I think we need to do Audible a little bit. For any of the folks out there that watch our live show on Tuesdays, this one's a shout out to Soy Boy David. David, this is how you open up a pickle jar because you have testosterone.
Wow, he did it.
And I got pickle juice all over me.
Because he's such a man.
Such a man. It smells so good. These are the yummy kosher spears, New York kosher spears by Nathan's Hot Dogs.
Brought to you in part by.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
Could be. Step it up, Nathan's.
Come
Figure it
on.
the fuck out.
Find us.
All right. There's the pickle for the pickle jar. The pickle.
You want a palate cleanser?
Well, put these as I'm gonna save mine.
Okay.
First, let's do a sour because we're doing a lot of fruit.
Okay. You right.
All right, I'm going in. Wow. Very different.
Very different.
Very different. You know, if I'm going to, I'm not a big pickle guy. So if I'm going to eat a pickle, it's like this. I don't really like them on food. At most, I'll have it on a burger and then take it off. So just there's the flavor of pickle because it could be overbearing. This tastes kind of like a meat. Like it tastes like meat, but like a buttery pickle. You know those butter pickles?
Yeah,
tastes like a buttery
it tastes
pickle.
like buttery pickle.
But also, yeah, I don't like the sweet in the background. There's like a creepy sweet that I'm not the biggest of fans of.
There is a solid sweetness to this.
But not like a
it's-
sweet pickle like you're used to. It's a weird like candy sweet. But it's back. It's not predominant. It's just in the background. Dude he ate it all. I told Brian, I go, you know, feel free to spit any of it out. You don't have to finish it all. You can put it away. He goes, when have you ever known me to not finish food?
I'm gonna eat everything.
I'm going back to the grapefruit. Wow, that's so good. It's the pickle. Yeah, it's different.
Yeah, and I don't think it's not a sweet pickle.
No, it is gluten free.
It's kosher.
Okay, okay. Palate cleanser.
Palate cleanser.
Brian keeps calling the limes and the lemons palate cleansers. So
They usually are.
this one's still pretty sour. Just the way you...
This one's sour.
It's still sour. It goes to show how much more sour a lime is than a lemon. The truth is, though, I am eating the lime like it is the lemon. Like it's tolerable.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to do this if I didn't have the chewable thing.
Yeah.
But it is so...
I didn't give you any rind. Do you want some rind?
I'm going to...
This was right there up there.
I can't let you sit there and just eat it.
This was right up there with how bad the grapefruit rind was.
Oh, dude.
It's pretty.
And it hangs. This is way worse.
No,
This is... Oh, I didn't try the grapefruit.
Yeah, don't.
I'm saying this is way worse than the orange.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would.
Why
second that.
did you do that to yourself? You are wild.
I want to know what these tastes are.
I don't want to leave this earth without experiencing all experiences.
The mBerry is out on my palate. I want to know.
It's
what
crazy.
It means.
The lemon or the lime is still sour,
Yeah.
but tastes good like a lemonade, like I could still eat it. The rind is gross, though, and the problem is you can't peel the... Like, I think... Don't just bite it. Do one of these, just so you could get what I'm getting. So the rind doesn't ruin it.
Yeah.
Sour, but like a lemonade, still good.
Yeah. A limeade.
Yes. All right.
Good stuff.
Before we got two more fruits, so we got to change it up again. I say I'm not a tomato guy. These are Sweet Angel cherry tomatoes. So, he's gonna, hold on.
Like Tic Tacs. All right, on to tomatoes.
Man, we have made a concoction in our bellies. Cheers.
Cheers.
Dude's got 3 in his hand. Oh my God.
It's like a sweet
Oh my
tomato.
God. Oh my God.
Yeah, I definitely get a tomato taste in there,
Dude.
but it's like I put a little bit of sugar on it.
Dude, that was too much. That was way too much. Again, I'm not a big tomato guy to begin with. Oh, I'm going back to the grapefruit.
Candied tomatoes. I can get behind it.
Brian's just popping them. I could get behind it. I think we could go back to something that might be a little bit more pleasant. I'm going to dice a kiwi in half. Let's dice one of these kiwis in half and... Ooh, a lot of green juice. All right.
All right, I'll do like you do, kind of inside. Try to get some of that.
Are kiwis normally this like hard?
These are definitely a little underripe.
Yeah, I was gonna say, aren't they supposed to be softer?
Yeah. So this might not be the best representation, but
Wait, but also if they're more sour, maybe that means they're gonna be more sweet because of the. I made a mess of it.
it's okay.
I'm not a kiwi guy, so I don't know what it's supposed to taste like, but I could eat this.
Yeah.
It's like a sweet cucumber. Look at all these little seeds. Yeah, I could.
It's a very mild version of kiwi. I feel like I've had kiwis that were like really sweet, and that wasn't that sweet.
Fair.
That's what I'm used
it like
to.
an apple. That's how you eat your kiwis? Oh my God. Hairs and all. Dude.
I normally don't eat the cap at the end.
But for the people at home, the things we'll do.
All my fan favorites out there, you know where to find me. Be Rizzle my shizzle. Get at
That's
me.
right. Find them on TikTok. Oh, yeah. All right. Now that I've got every color of juice I could possibly have in front of me.
You want to have
Let's-
one sticky desk.
All right. We're going to save the grapes because, let's do these.
I kind of want to do the dark chocolate.
Can we save that?
Yeah.
Because here's how I'm looking at it, Brian.
Okay.
Here's what we got left, folks. Actually, we still got the baby bottle pop, so I'm not upset.
Sardines, too.
I was going to say, of the things I'm not excited about, we've got olives, peppers, cheese. Then we've got jalapenos. And the worst for last is going to be sardines. Now, on the good side, we have grapes, dark chocolate, and baby bottle pops.
Can I get a new plate?
100%.
This smell is like...
So my thinking is we got to balance the bad with the good. So I think we do a gross, then go to like grapes, then do the jalapenos. Actually, we should save jalapenos for after the chocolate too, because the last thing we want is spicy chocolate. So we'll save jalapenos towards the end too. Maybe do jalapenos last.
Yeah.
So spicy doesn't taint any of the other stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so next is olives.
And we have the baby bottle pops.
Oh, yeah, we got baby bottle pops. So we've got olives. I'm a bad Greek because I really don't like olives. Brian, you're going to love this mix. It's also got mushrooms.
Hell yeah. I had olive spread in my omelet this morning.
So you're going to be full of olives.
Oh. Salt galore.
All right. And again, I'm not a big olive guy, so I'm going to go with a black olive. I don't do green olives. Just sit here. I was going to hand it to you. I appreciate you. All right. I'll wait. You're talking about smells. This is a bad smell. All right. First, to an olive.
Olive, I love you.
Okay. Don't love it. Don't hate it.
A little bit of sweetness. I'm not
It's
really.
edible.
There's a faint umami. There's the olive.
All right, let's get into that.
Coming in the
Because
background.
Brian did some research as we were preparing on what to get for this. I wanted to ask you, what is that, edamame? Said
Umami
you're like, I'm
is-
a big umami guy.
Umami is a meat. It's part of the texture, part of the just meat flavor. It's a specific flavor.
But is found in foods. So
Found
like
in foods, yeah.
but not just meat, other
no,
foods. Okay. But it's a meat flavor.
Mushroom, olive, things that are a little bit heartier, things that have a little bit more density to them.
Yeah, so Brian found doing some research that this chewable thing doesn't just impact sour and bitter, but umami. I didn't even know what that was.
Yeah.
Here, let me see that container again. We'll dive into cheese. Cheese I can get behind. That I can eat. What's in here?
Yeah, it's like a oil. Yeah, it's a oil vinegar.
Don't like it. Don't like it.
Yeah, it's not as awesome as it normally is. I'm not getting the saltiness out of it. Yeah, that was probably right up there with grapefruit rind and lime rind as far as taste.
Cheese and the different rinds.
Not awesome. It's kind of stale, kind of.
Oh, the brittly, like it just fell apart, so the texture was gross. All right, now I'm going to try a red pepper.
Okay.
This is just a regular bell pepper.
El bebe.
Nope. Not it. Not it.
There's a little bit of sourness into that.
Brian, you're going to get me to do the sardine, but that's the extent of
I
it.
know.
You could try
I'll
the
do-
mushroom.
yeah.
I'm not. How's the mushroom?
Much sweeter than it normally is.
Ew. Is that appealing or?
Not for a mushroom. I don't like sweet mushrooms. That's not really.
The real question is, how long does this last? When does food get to taste good again? All right. I say let's finish the fruits
Okay.
and eat like a Greek god. Eat a grape. You want a grape, trust me. Yeah. Yeah, the grapes are definitely the best part so far. That and the grapefruit. My favorites are the grapefruit and the grapes. Big fan. Big fan, brother. Big fan. I might eat all the grapes. All right.
Super mild, super just refreshing.
What was the one that you didn't like? You were like, just way too sweet. It was the orange, right? One of these two, you were like, it made it too sweet. Yeah, it was the orange. So here's...
I love oranges
yeah,
too.
exactly. You would have thought that having happened to the orange,
Yeah.
this is exactly what would have happened to the grapes.
But
But the grapes taste great.
yeah.
It actually didn't over-sweeten them. It just changed. It just feels like when you
You're
get...
tasting a unique grape.
Yes. When you go to the store, how about this? I got into fermenting my own mead, like homemade wine,
Okay.
using honey and yeast.
Okay.
And it's so fun playing this game because you can make all different types of concoctions. You can make like, you do berry types, vanilla, all these, and you experiment to see what the mead will come out tasting like. I wanted to, and you want to try to jack up the sugars in it as much as possible because that's what the yeast eat, and that's what creates more alcohol. So the more sugar's in it, the more alcoholic it is, or the higher the alcohol percentage. So I wanted to find a juice base instead of using honey water. Use honey and water. Use honey and like a juice.
Okay, that makes sense.
But when you go to like go to your local grocery store now, Welch's and all those other ones, you should, dude, there is not a single juice you can buy today that doesn't have some sort of artificial sweetener or flavors added. There is straight up nothing that is just ringed out juice.
Right.
I actually was compelled to get a juicer simply because I can't get a single thing that's just
Not from concentrate?
So again, like you're saying, like the frozen, like
No, well, like you can get. I get my whenever I get orange juice, which is rare. I get not from concentrate.
is that in like
There, it's supposed to be just oranges.
Who
that are
makes it?
squeezed. I would have to. I can.
see?
I think
Here's
it's
the thing.
I think it's a pretty big brand.
Even if it's not made from concentrates, going to the ingredients and seeing what's added shows
Yeah,
like
there might be like absorbic acid or something.
boom, boom. So again, the grapes taste like what your Welch's grape juice tastes like, and it's just a grape. There's no added sugar, there's no added flavors. This tastes like grape juice, like candy juice, but not like sugary candy. It tastes like juice.
So I
But
just
it's
gotta
real.
say, the smell of this olive oil juice is
Gross.
yeah, it's a little bit. My nose is like very sensitive to smells right now. It's like, all right, I normally can like roll around in that stuff and like bathe in it, but these two things, the limes, the lemons, and the olive oil juice is just, it's making me squirm a little bit.
All right, dude. So we got 4 things left.
Okay. Because I
Sardines,
smell what I taste.
jalapenos, baby bottle pops, and dark chocolate. Okay. So we got to balance them. I am now thinking we do jalapenos last.
Yeah. I would second that.
So does that mean we do sardines now?
Sardines or baby bottle pops?
Let's do a baby bottle pop. Let's just get it out of the way. Baby bottle pop, baby bottle pop.
You could lick it, dip it, or munch it, or whatever the song.
I think that's how the commercial went.
I've seen.
Man,
that
take me back
commercial.
to the 90s.
When they had great commercials. Bring
When is
back
the-
90s
Brian,
commercials.
When is the last time you've had a baby bottle pop?
At least 15. No, probably 15 years ago.
Seriously.
It's been well over a decade.
That's a great point. 15. I'd be 15 years old. 15 years ago sounds about right. Whew. Let's just lick
I don't
it.
even remember.
You got to unscrew this and dip it in, but oh, that's yummy. Strawberry flavored is yummy.
See, that's what a grape normally tastes like. Except this is mildly sweeter.
This is for kids. It shouldn't be that hard to pull the baby bottle pop part off.
Oh, God.
Hey, whoa. You used to be able to attach this to the top so you could, like, shake it. Now you can't. Oh, I guess it does. It screws. Man, with this plastic age, things we make today just keep getting crappier. Baby bottle pop. Baby bottle pop. You gotta know how childish I felt buying this. Like, grabbing it off of the shelf and putting it on the conveyor belt. But I'm a big boy, Mom. I'm buying it with my own money.
I want the sandy sugar.
Yeah, it looks like sand. I feel like that tastes different than it normally would.
It's super mild.
And that's what I mean. Like, usually putting the cracked sugar on your baby bottle pop makes it like extra sweet.
Yeah.
It's like dull. It actually tastes dull.
I almost don't taste anything. It's like
You taste
it's
the
like-
grape.
It's like
I just taste the strawberry.
It's like have you ever had like Propel,
Yeah.
where it's a very mild water?
That is exactly what this is like. It is exactly like Propel. That is a great way of describing it. So it really tampered down the baby bottle pop. Like the baby bottle pop to me was the least exciting. Give me this grapefruit again. I'm going for the grapefruit again. Yeah, dude, but it also may be wearing off because that's starting to taste like a grapefruit.
I'll pop another if you want to.
Let's get it. We're a couple of risky boys.
Yeah,
Popping these-
risky stuff.
Popping these and we got Ricky. If we're gonna be Ricky, if we're gonna get risky, gotta have a Ricky.
Ricky. Just another day TV.
Ricky goes live with us every Tuesday on the Rethink Live. Join us. All right, so let's circle back to where we were leaving off.
It's definitely not. It's a little bit worse than on the second round.
Yeah, it's even more sour. Crazy. But let's address, we got 3 things still lingering. We'll get back to them. But grounding us back into the podcast dialogue.
Yes. Before we do that,
Please.
I wrote down a point. The psychology of the sense of eating. Like, I tell myself, I love olives. I love all this, that mumbo jumbo that was in that container. And then you're tasting it and you're like, no, I love this. But you love this. But why are you hesitating to say how much you're like about it?
Because you convince yourself you don't.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here smelling this pile of something that was just kind of making me like turn my nose up and going, but you would roll around in that stuff. Why are you? I don't like. It makes you really second guess.
The truth is, we haven't had enough of. I'm glad you brought it back to us because we haven't had enough of a conversation yet about how much of the psychological aspect there is to this game.
Yeah.
Like what we're doing here, the grapefruit thing really has messed me up because of how truly enjoyable it was.
Yeah.
And exactly to your point, I want to like a grapefruit in real life outside of this tablet.
Yeah.
I never can. It's just not enjoyable. Every time I'm like, I'm going to enjoy it this time, and I don't.
Yeah.
So we don't want to gloss over the psychological aspect here of I shouldn't be enjoying chewing on a lemon like I am enjoying chewing on a lemon.
Yeah.
But then it flips on itself. I love a pickle. That pickle was so goofy. It was difficult. Like I actually wasn't having a good time. It was palatable. The things that weren't palatable. Really everything in this container. So the olives, the peppers, and the cheese. The cheese so far, to me, was the worst. Pickle's not far behind it. How you doing on your tablet?
About probably halfway through it.
Me too.
And I didn't like that mushroom in there.
Which is a big deal for Brian.
It's everything. It's what I base my whole life on.
I mean, seriously, if you missed it, go check out the Rethink Tank Live. So if you go to our YouTube channel, go to the live section, look for the episode. I had my wisdom teeth ripped out, and then I had to go out of town for a court conference. Brian
Cap or no cap.
took over the show. He played the game Cap or No Cap, and it's Mushroom Talk Live. Don't miss it. They go deep. We had the whole crew. Ricky from Just Another Day TV. We had Silent Destroyer. Good old Doug was sitting in the main chair. Mm-hmm. He even said that was the first time he hadn't yet taken over the driver's seat. But
Yeah.
very entertaining episode. So if you missed it, go check that out. But Brian's a big mushroom head, and not just like the psychedelic hippie kind, but the guy loves foraging.
We didn't talk
the
about it
science
once on
of
the
it,
show.
which is great.
Yeah.
Which is great for the
That's how
culture.
I wanted it. I wanted to be more of an introduction to mushrooms because there's a lot of people out there that are mycophobia. And
Whoa.
yeah, it's a whole epidemic of like people who are completely terrified of eating mushrooms, seeing mushrooms, foraging for mushrooms. All of those people get lumped into one whatever. And it's a damn shame because there's so many benefits that we didn't even get to talk much about on the show. I got to sprinkle a little zhuzh in there, but I would like to dive into that maybe even later in this episode.
No, what? Let's hear it. Enlighten us.
I took a mushroom online course, and I'm still kind of going on because I'm really slow about it. And it comes with a book, and I have shown this book to many people who are interested. It's all about medicinal mushrooms and not psychoactive, not hallucinogenic. The ones they talk about in this book is birch polypore, chaga, cordyceps, lion's mane, maitake, reishi, turkey tail. These are all mushrooms that you can find in your woods, in your local woods. I think we have all of them. Birch polypore is super rare to find around here because we don't have a lot of birch trees, and they only grow on birch trees, dead birch. And even that, I don't see too many mushrooms growing on birch themselves, the birch that I do find. But it goes all into, it gives very high level summaries on the research, like birch polypore research, cancer. It gives like 6 different studies on how they have cured cancer or fought carcinogenic effects, inflammation, how birch polypore can reduce inflammation, has antimicrobial, so any bad microbes that are in your system, and then additional features about birch polypore, and that's just one of the several mushrooms that are on here. But all these different mushrooms have superfood components to them, and it's just really amazing to see these high-level summaries of detailed research, science journal published articles that you can find on
online, I'm sure.
It's not quite available online, like in your general scholarly Google search, but it is in like Science Direct, all your academic research where it's pretty much lock and key unless you have like some kind of subscription with like a college or a university or work or whatever. I mean, I could go deeper into that, but so I just kind of wanted to give a high level.
For Brian to say that the mBerry made mushrooms miserable, that's really saying something because we're talking about Brian here.
Yeah, pickled mushroom was sweet.
The whole thing about it was gross. But I'm going to have another grape because the grapes were great. Oh, God. I take it back. Tomatoes are up there is gross.
It's a sweet tomato. It's awesome.
All right, dude. I'm incredibly reluctant to do this.
Okay.
Like,
this sardines.
This is going to be miserable.
You want me to get it?
Crack her open, dude.
All right. I do enjoy a sardine. I can only eat so many because they're so...
Here, let me see.
So...
Make sure the camera... I got to be careful with the juices.
Yes.
Oh, it smells terrible.
Oh, yeah. It smells like fish bait.
I hate you for this, dude.
Oh, you're getting the juices next to the
Oh,
grapefruit.
Oh, I got sardine juice all over my beautiful grapefruit.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, I hate you for this. So, can I tell you something crazy? Talking about, like, the podcast. Me and Nick Foster did a Fear Factor episode. We ate the nastiest things we could find in a grocery store. Like, sardines being up there.
The smell is pretty
pretty potent, it is putrid.
This literally smells like bait.
I have only had sardines one other time, and for the podcast was when we did it.
Yeah.
Me and Nick did the whole episode. Ate the nastiest stuff we could find in a grocery store.
Yeah.
Ending with sardines.
It's like I could feel it on my palate already.
And none of it recorded. No. So we went through.
I see red lights, so I think we got it. I think we got it up.
So this sardine will count.
What time are we at?
Well, that's not totally accurate.
Because of the.
I'll catch it. I'll catch it.
So you got this whole podcast and you got none of it recorded.
Yeah, it was a
sardines.
heartbreak. And of course, I look at Nick and I'm like, do it again? Hard no. It was so miserable. There was no doing it again. And yet, what better way than bringing it back alive for the episode 100? Oh, dude, this thing's falling apart.
It's like making my jaw like clench up. Just the smell.
Oh, man. It literally smells like you're on a fishing pier.
Yeah.
I hate
Like I said, this mBerry is really making my smell.
This was
like
Brian's
my
idea.
smell.
Like, I had no intention of putting sardines in the misery of today. Like, we're going to be so sick for the rest of our Sunday. This is a holiday weekend, and Brian just ruined it by putting fish bait in our gut with the mixture of all the other crap. Cheers, dude. You know what? I gotta do this.
This is actually good.
I gotta do this.
Wow, that is good. It's like smoky and
It tasted like fish. It tasted like good seasoned garlic. Like it's
almost like a jerk.
Yeah, it tastes like jerky. It tastes like fish jerky. You know what I don't like though? This comes back to the dialogue you open.
That was really good.
Social credit deducted.
Just now he's popping them like they're grapes.
Those are dangerous. I like that.
Do another. You need a spoon?
Oh, they're right here. I got one.
He's just eating them now. Oh, God. The thing is, this comes back to the conversation Brian started. It's the psychological. Oh, my God. The dude is just flailing sardines.
Chef kisses. That hit the #1 chart. Pop a sweet cherry with that.
You're killing me, dude. Brian's gut is such a cocktail of misery right now.
I can't really say that I've been through worse, but this is probably up there.
Dude, you are testing the limits of your stomach. All right. Now, back to my realm. I love thriving with chocolate. And what better way than some dark chocolate with a tablet that should make it taste sweet. So, Brian, I just took a couple cubes from the top. Help yourself. We just got the darkest of dark chocolate.
Indulge.
Oh, my God. This is amazing. Big fan. Big fan. Oh, dude.
Very good.
I got to eat this whole bar before this tablet runs out.
Get all the health benefits.
Right. Yeah, all the health benefits. I could be eating all this fruit. Instead, it made the chocolate taste chocolatier.
Yeah, it's definitely like a milk chocolate.
It very much. Dude.
I'm enjoying it.
This is really good. Wow. Cheers to dark chocolate. You are the winner so far.
Yeah, not a hint of bitter.
Oh, that was so good. Now, let's make our tongue miserable.
Okay. I have zero guesses on what this will do.
Yeah, I'm curious. Here's the thing, though. A good pickled jalapeno, I like them.
Yeah, I do too.
I could eat this the way it is. The smell right now, unlike the sardines and the tomatoes, actually has me excited. It smells like Memorial Day picnic. Like, perfect for the weekend. Smells like a family picnic. I need some brats cooking. Brian's shoveling jalapenos. I'm sitting here like, I'm going to have a jalapeno. And Brian's just like, lump, lump, lump. The way you fisted those sardines. My God. Cheers.
Cheers.
Spicy. Like, it's really hot.
But it's
I
also
think it's
sweet.
Yeah. The flavor's really good. Honestly, I do think it's a little spicier than it regularly would be.
Yeah.
Don't you? This is a little spicier than a jalapeno
Yeah, it
normally
made my
would
palate a little sensitive to it. But
be. But it's so good.
yeah.
There's a lot of flavor to the jalapeno.
I'm happy we didn't get the hot and sweet, because now this is hot and sweet. It's
But I have
supposed to be hot.
milk chocolate.
Milk dark chocolate. Yeah, definitely
Turn the
more
spicy off right away. It is. It's got to be. There's no way a jalapeno is that spicy normally.
No.
But again,
But I'm not like crying over here. It's
Yes.
not like choking me up or anything, but like just the whole like mouth play is like
you could
very
tell.
lively.
Right. Well, it's there.
Yeah.
Like there's no hiding from. It's prevalent, but the flavor.
It's like a
Is
fresh
enhanced.
jalapeno that
Yeah.
you didn't take the inside
Yeah, like
out.
this wasn't a pickle one. I'm gonna go.
Great.
Yeah, dude. This tastes like if you made a salsa with it, like, ooh. Because there's just such a whole nother dimension to the flavor.
Yeah.
Big fan. Big fan. That's why we had to save the spicy for last.
Really happy
Because
you did that.
because it really did. It would have impacted the whole day. I mean, it's still here.
Yeah.
It's here. The chocolate helps. God bless chocolate. Always and forever. Chocolate is my best friend.
It's so milky.
It is. That's it. It is. It's very milky.
It's
One
not quite
thing-
like a white chocolate.
You tried yours. I would like to try coffee.
Creamy, buttery.
Can you try it? Dude, you are going to love that. I drink my coffee black.
I do too.
And
Wow.
yeah, dude, it tastes like you put cream and
Wow.
sugar in it.
Yeah.
It tastes like a full coffee.
I even got like hints of caramel.
Dude, take another sip. Especially getting rid of the spicy.
The last thing in my mouth was the chocolate, so that's like
And-
really playing well. They are jiving.
They're jiving. They are jiving. And this is coconut flavored coffee. Like I have a
Okay.
coconut type coffee. So the coconut doesn't come through at all.
No.
But it does taste like I'm tasting that caramel. It's like it is like a cream and sugar full coffee.
Yeah.
Wow. Dude, my stomach is so confused. It's like we've never had all of these things here together.
And a sardine. Oh boy.
But yeah, dude, this ride has been a wild one. You know, it's been difficult because the whole pursuit here is I don't need to be right. I don't want to be right. I want to learn.
Yeah.
I want to grow. Having different perspectives on a show, some and most that you don't hear from in the mainstream. That's the balance I'm striving for. And in a space like this, it feels many times that it just truly isn't welcoming to that. It's almost like it's consciously, if you want to thrive, have some mind-numbing BS.
Right.
Be Mr. Beast and recreate the chocolate factory. Otherwise, if you start talking about what's happened, the wizard behind the curtain, if you start talking about the wizard behind the curtain,
Yeah.
people are going to, there are mechanisms in place that make this road a lot lonelier and a lot harder.
Yeah, and these people, like people you don't expect, come out of the woodworks, and they have these opinions, and you're like, But did you actually watch the thing? Did you listen to what the person who is getting ridiculed actually said?
Dude,
Because
Brian,
this is like a constant battle I've been facing. Like, oh, okay, like there's this controversial idea, and we talked about it on the live show. But if you don't check out the live show, then I can't really speak on it because you're missing out on the full spectrum of like why it takes 15 to 45 minutes to cover one of these topics.
Right. Like Fox News or CNN, they miss the mark because these deep, complex topics aren't 3-minute sound bites.
Right. And we all can agree, and it doesn't have to be about just like this little shallow 2-minute snippet that you see.
That's another truth that I've learned through this pursuit. Honestly, the other team, Republicans, Democrats, the other race, the other gender, the other team, more often than not, we agree on pretty much everything.
Yeah.
It's the nuances that we don't really agree on, and those only come out through a deep dialogue. And when you have that deep dialogue, that's when you realize, oh, we're pretty much the same.
Yeah.
And the thing we share is one common enemy, and that common enemy is totally outnumbered by us. They're actually just 1%.
Yeah.
But they have everything at their disposal to pin us against each other.
Yeah, they found the most polarizing part of this idea, and they're harping on it.
Yeah.
This is the clip that they're showing.
Right. I mean, but trying to traverse that path, and I think what really got the Rethink Tank into its own. Yep. One, it was the crew. Having a crew consistently every week, focusing on a mission, on a project, learning and having fun, and having engaging dialogues and content. That really put this on track. But what propelled it forward was, no longer tying definitions by the numbers. Views are low. Subscribers are low. We're seeing a huge uptick in subscribers the moment oh my God, and he just handful of sardines again.
Oh, it's still so good.
You're killing me.
I gotta eat them while they're still good. I mean, normally they're like, okay, that was like, it's a sardine. I know what I'm eating, but like, that's so good.
I am going to get a Snapchat from you just like couch locked in 3 hours, like,
the sardines were a mistake. The lemon and EVOO.
Handfuls of sardines.
I'm a fish. I got baited.
Yeah. So what really got us propelling was finally no longer defining the pursuit based on the numbers and what people thought.
Right.
And just doing what we thought was fun, what people would enjoy. And here's the dynamic I'm still trying to figure out and still trying to master. I haven't told you yet, but there was an episode I just recorded and had one of my favorite guests, The Toxic Show, on. And Drake has been a part of this project for a while. The Toxic Show, they have a lot of great content going on as well. Yeah. And we had a fun episode.
Okay.
And the episode in itself, if you just look at the episode and what the consumer will experience, it was great. Not an asterisk to be had. I'm curious how like Joe Rogan and all these, Lex Friedman, great podcasters, they have to have stories like this, where you had Elon Musk in the studio, and then what happened after the podcast ended, and like you were, liaisoning him out of the building to the parking lot to his Cybertruck. Like there's probably a lot of things that happen off the camera that Joe's got these stories about, or Lex has these stories about, and the audience member never gets to hear.
Right.
So episode ends, it was really great. And the asterisk on this episode now is he looks at me and he goes, hey, normally on Wednesday nights I go live and I go with like a group on TikTok. Do you mind if I do that? I go, please, my pleasure. So I got the tripod with the ring light, set it up on the desk here. I just started cleaning the studio up. I'm taking down cameras, closing the place up.
Right.
And he's doing a live to these friends that he goes live with all the time.
Okay.
Now, this is the Toxic Show. For anybody that doesn't know it, the Toxic Show, all he does is drink all these different types of alcohol.
Okay.
We didn't have this anticipation, but we got really, we drank. We drank, and he got
hit
me.
sauce.
Sauced. And by the end of it, boy, was I. So he's on the live. I'd have fun, and I'd pop in, say a couple words, pop out. We all were having, there was a rhythm. Everybody was having fun, even the people he was going live with.
Yeah.
Then the guy he's going live with definitely looked like a basement troll that never had threw a baseball in his life. I'm going to say that. But you can picture the guy in your head.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Blue hair.
Yeah. But everything but. So
Everything
close.
but.
I mean, in spirit, his hair was blue.
Not my ex.
He to a grape. Man, the grapes, that tasted like a chocolate-covered grape. That was good.
Okay. I'm getting a fishy grape, so. Quite palatable. Grapes, sardines.
Quite palatable. So, we go on the live. He's having fun. They were on for at least like 20 minutes or so. And finally, the kid that can't throw a baseball just starts seizing. He's like, and I go, what is going on? He
Like
goes,
an NPC?
dude, Drake looks at me and he goes, yeah, he just got 10,000 donations. And now he, because of that, whenever he gets 10,000 donations, he has a pregnancy or a giving birth pregnancy simulator. And they have the nodes on his belly jacked up all the way. And so then it cut back to him. He sees it. And I'm just like, wait. So that's a guy going through a pregnancy simulation or a birth simulation?
Is that like one of those like heart defibrillators?
Yeah, like a defibrillator,
okay.
those type of electric nodes
Yeah,
he had taped to his belly.
Oh.
And it was like contracting like the muscles in his belly and he's like, ah! And dude, you would have thought somebody was literally manually pulling his foot off. The way he was like excruciatingly screaming and curling and and I'm sitting there and I'm just like, wait. So that's a guy having a pregnancy simulation. Like he's simulating birth. And they're like, yeah, dude, before I even know, I'm literally just questioning.
Right.
I didn't make a commentary on it. I didn't go like, oh, what a this guy's having a fake, what do you think you're a chick? Like I didn't, none of the Rainbow Cup stuff I would have ever said when I wasn't on camera. I played the game. I'm just sitting there going, what is going on here? Before we even know it, Drake looks at me and goes, they kicked me out.
No way.
And I go, what? He goes, yeah, you got me kicked out. I go, I did? He goes, yeah. And then you look at the comments.
Yeah.
And they go, that conservative moron doesn't know what's going on. And so they're going in on me. And I'm like, how do you even know? And so talking to his buddy after, the buddy tells him, it wasn't really anything he said, because I got upset. I was like, dude, this is how you make your living. This is how you pay for your kid.
Yeah, you don't want to mess that up.
I'm not trying to screw that up for you. And if it's on me, then I ruin your livelihood. I felt absolutely terrible.
Right.
And I'm like, I just want to know what I did, so I never do that again, and I never make this mistake. So
Fair
I
point.
could play the Mr. Beast and be happy-go-lucky YouTube's favorite.
Yeah.
And he couldn't. He's like, I really don't know. I really don't know. You were asking about it, upset. Then we go to the comments, and the comments again were like, he doesn't get it. Clearly he's conservative, blah, blah, blah. So this tribe team mentality where they all like just targeted the outsider. And
that's probably part of the niche too. It was like,
that was it.
Hey, this is something that like whenever we see something that's not us, we just go out and we attack it because we don't like it.
That's how this cult works.
Yeah.
And if everybody questioned it, if everybody questioned why the guy's in a dress or why the guy needs tampons, or I mean these are dudes with a mental illness. If the second you start questioning that, it unravels real quick.
Yeah.
There's zero logic to this whole game they're playing. So we need to stifle anybody that comes in with the Socratic method, questioning, wrestling with it, because we just want drones. We just want zombies. the second you think about it, you're an enemy. We want somebody that's not going to think about it, get in line and march.
Yeah.
So I bring it full circle. It's very difficult to figure out what works. It was humbling to bring new people into this that I was hoping, hey, if I'm too conservative, if I'm too much of the problem, and that's why this thing isn't seeing success, you guys could course correct me, see that, and we would get right back on track.
But also the mentality of the Rethink Tank is just thinking outside of your normal comfort zone. So it's not right, it's not left, it's just
different.
New. It's not your normal way of going about it.
Exactly. And so to have somebody come in here and go, that being the pursuit,
yeah,
having you, David, Doug, Ricky, other people to go, what you're doing is on the track of what you think you're striving for.
Yeah.
Whereas I could think I'm striving for that,
yeah,
but really, dude, you are Alex Jones. You are like ultra extremist. That wasn't the experience. I had relatively moderate people we are also different. We also balance each other very well. That's how this thing thrives.
Yeah.
And so while we're all moderate but different, having people come into this pursuit with me and corroborate the fact that, like, clearly there are mechanisms against us. That, like, that episode right there definitely would have done better had for you not said Joe Biden's name.
Come on, man.
Or brought up the election or the vaccine, and finding out that was the biggest part too. When I was doing it in my bedroom, a pandemic hit. The whole world stopped. Nobody could go to work. Nobody could go to school. The whole world stopped. And YouTube was like, we're not telling anybody.
It was like a fever dream.
It was, yeah, especially now looking back at it,
yeah,
for sure. But like at that time, how are you experiencing something that this has never happened before? Our parents, this is new. Yeah. Our parents haven't experienced this. And yet I'm supposed to have a podcast and not talk about it? So YouTube makes these rules where anybody that says vaccine or COVID, we are going to stifle their video and or their channel, and never tells had you told me, I would have just, when I learned, I started calling it the boogeyman germ. Right. I would have redirected.
Or getting your jabs.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's how you got your jabs in.
But it's just having these hurdles that you don't even know are in front of you.
Right.
And it's been fun, whether we become the Joe Rogan Experience or we just continue to do a show to an audience of 5.
Yeah.
Either way, what's cool is throwing out the game they want us to play. They want you to run hurdles.
Yeah.
And yet, they don't tell you what the hurdles are.
Nope.
There's no mechanism.
No rule book. There's no
exactly.
There's no set guidelines. There's nothing to say that you can't say these sets of words. Any of the 3-letter agencies. Oh, God forbid. That will shut you down and what is it? Black?
Yeah, get you shadow banned.
Shadow banned. Yeah.
And here we are, dude. And what's cool about where this project has found its home,
right,
is we've thrown out the game you want us to play, and we don't know where the hurdles are. You want us to run hurdles, and we want to just sprint. We just want to be a horse running free. And so what are we doing? The Rethink Tank is just sprinting through every hurdle. It may slow us down. It may hurt a little bit, but we are having our own little blast, our own little show of fun.
Yeah. It's almost like getting raped without without knowing you are.
The one word.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it.
We beep.
Because Doug said it the other day.
He did.
And I was like, oh my God.
I laughed because Doug's face when I go, there it is. There's the episode. We're cooked. Doug said it live. His face, he felt so bad.
Like, well, it was at the end of the episode, so it's hopefully no one noticed.
I mean, but dude, that's what's so fun about this is like everybody has gotten their own personality. Doug would just come here just to drink and watch.
Yeah.
But now being a part of the pickle gallery, people are logging in live just to, where's Doug? We want Doug. Like, he brings a fun comedic balance to it, but also has a lot of great dialogue. Finding Silent Destroyer, what a blessing.
Yeah, wow.
Even having guys like in South Africa joining us, just to give a whole nother dynamic. The show has evolved. It's continuing to evolve, but having a home for it.
Yeah, going live on MTV.
Yeah, dude. Even talking to strangers. Go check out our Polling the People. We've got a whole nother series that has started where we just do like chat roulette with strangers, and
it's a fun one.
Oh, those are fun too. And again, that's another palate cleanser, as you put it. Just take a mental break from all the exercising we do in here. But it's been fun. But genuinely, and this is something I've said from the start, right? Like, I literally started the show with a co-host.
Yep.
The podcast is me and a guest. But it's always been me and a co-host. That's how it was. And I always had the mentality, I don't know if you remember this, Mac Miller had a TV show.
RIP.
Of course. And a legend like him, somebody who's a local kid from Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
You want to know, one, it tells you it's possible.
Yeah.
Those heights are possible. But then don't try to reinvent the wheel. Learn from the folks that have done it. Logan Paul and Jake Paul came up from Westlake, right up the street from where we're at.
And then they went to Athens.
Right? They went to OU.
Yeah.
So, like, something you take from these guys, when they speak, especially on the trade of how you grow, or how you grow in the trade, when they speak, you listen.
And now he's going to fight Mike Tyson.
Yeah, crazy.
Out of all people, like, the dude is a killer. Yeah. You want to, in his sport, you want to fight a person that is known as a killer.
Have you seen the videos
I saw
of
this
old man Tyson just cracking these bags?
I saw Brian Callahan reviewing his Tyson's six punch.
Yeah. Bop, 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 bop.
Yeah. It was like, no, you are dead. You break people's faces by doing that.
The truth is, though, I think this fight will really tell us how real these boxing fights have been. The Jake Paul showy TikTok boxing matches.
Yeah.
This will tell us how real it's been.
Yeah.
If Mike looks deflated or Mike isn't going for headshots, like I thought I saw, things have changed. But it was my understanding that in the contract, if Mike Tyson knocks him out the first round, he doesn't get paid. So there's like a financial incentive for him to score points, but not knock him out. And so to get a real calibration of what that contract says, what it limits, what it actually creates for this fight, will be told. Mike Tyson will tell us. Like, if he's coming in like Mike Tyson trying to bite your ear off, then I'm going to believe it. But, if he's coming in a little, mannered, minor tampered.
And,
Then I think we'll get an idea that maybe these contracts are a little bit more of a sham than we want them to be.
Right.
But wrapping up the thought, bringing it back to Mac Miller and like these guys like Logan Paul. One of the things Mac Miller said on his TV show is like he had made it big, gotten out of Pennsylvania, and now he's got these albums. But he's like this local kid talking about that growth in his experience. And a lot of the show was him in his family's house with all his friends. His friends being like producers, guys that help him write, like guys that are behind the scene that you never saw.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm the name on the CD. I'm the guy contracted with the record label.
Yeah.
But nothing of my product is what it is without my team. And I've always internalized that from the beginning of this pursuit, that this is not a thing I can do by myself. And especially,
nor do you want to do, like,
yeah, that's true too.
Like, a part of it is like not like calling it bro time, but because we're all bros, that's kind of what it is in
Dude,
a way.
it's great. We get to see each other. I get to see you twice a week.
Yeah.
Regardless, we've got our guys are together every Tuesday.
That was a huge push for me to do this because I'm like, all right, you've been really diving into this and you're starting a new thing, and I don't see you. We used to always go on hikes and go fishing and do these different things outside of just the norms, and it got to the point where I'm like, I need to see this dude more often. I want to be around him. I want to join him on it because I'm watching your stuff and I have notes, and I'm like,
dude, that's what made me do this. I would be driving. So what made, okay, the Chief Wahoo thing is when I pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
But that was my into first year of law school.
Yeah.
But I took a gap year between college and law school. In that gap year, I worked at Sprint selling cell phones.
Yeah.
And when I would drive to work in below freezing weather at 6 a.m., a half hour away into Strongsville, and I'm like driving, listening to Joe Rogan. At that time, this was well before Spotify. This is when the guy had maybe 1 to 2 million subscribers, nothing like the show it is today.
Right.
He has changed a lot too. What made the show so enticing at the time was he was a lot more free with his thoughts and a lot more open with his beliefs and his dialogue. Whereas now, you could tell he's a lot more censored because he has a $100 million product that he needs to protect. And so he isn't the same guy. Those days, though, I'd be driving to work and you'd be listening to this idiot comedian that was fun, but an idiot comedian talking to some of the most brilliant minds. And he'd be like, what about that thing that, and every time I'd be yelling at the radio, dude, it's X, it's Y.
He
like,
literally just said, yeah.
And I relate to your statement because there were so many things that like I wanted to interject in. I don't think they had the full picture, or there's a whole nother dynamic that the conversation missed.
Yeah.
And I now need to create that. And so I think that's, what I like about being the podcaster is having the friends that listen to the podcast. Now I'm at Wild Eagle or I'm golfing and they go, hey, do you remember that episode you were talking to so-and-so? I've been wanting to say to you, like, remember when you said this, and they get to have their 2 cents? Like,
yeah.
That's what I imagine it's like being friends with Joe Rogan. Yeah. I'm sure he hates that. Because it's like a scale like none other.
Yeah,
like the scale of that is just too big.
Yeah.
But
at the grocery store, like, dude, just leave me the
Right. But then you've got your close friends. Like, I guarantee Jordan Peterson was like, the one time I heard you talk to so-and-so, I had these thoughts. Like, I could see you be like, I get to see him, but also you've brought a dynamic that the show didn't have. And so you want it, like, you're like, I got to talk to him about this when he said X.
Yeah.
Like, that's because the show was missing that lens, that other perspective. And the blessing of being able to have that. Now the dynamic of all these different positions and lenses to look through. But it also, like you said, it is a lot more fun having, like, dude, I know you on a whole nother level than this criminal philosopher author that's coming on for the next episode.
Okay.
This is the first time I've ever met the guy.
Yeah.
Like, there's jokes, there's inside things where, like, an inside lane to you that I wouldn't have with any other random guest.
Right. And kind of letting the reins go off of me versus, like, trying to keep the dialogue in the realm of not ruining a possible friendship for a first-time guest.
Right, and I love you bringing that up because it also acknowledges how much work this is. Like, learning the technologies. I mean, dude, we had to find a guy in Austin, or no. He was in Arizona. He was in Phoenix, Arizona. Yeah. We had to find this guy that buys these little Chinese boxes that is a switcher that he reprograms so you could use Mevo cameras for live streaming. Like everywhere online's like, yeah, you're cooked. If you have a Mevo, you can't use them for live streaming.
Yeah, you have to buy this expensive Canon, Nikon,
so we're
or whatever.
learning technologies that we never even thought. I mean,
yeah, there's so many barriers and hoops that you have to jump through on the back end that you're like, why is this? Why wouldn't they just make it all the same? And it's like kind of comparing like the English system to the metric system, and you're like, why can't we just like, you know, blend them and make things like jive together? And you're just like, well, but there's a whole market to it, and you go down that rabbit hole, and you can find yourself in some. Why did I get into this?
Right. And again, getting like there being so many other pieces to this that you never even expected you needed to learn.
Yeah.
I truly do think myself, but also us as a team, we have so much more than Jamie, than Joe Rogan, than Lex Friedman. And this comes back to the Logan Paul, Jake Paul piece. Advice I learned from them was Logan Paul will tell you it is the 10,000 hour rule.
Yeah.
He goes, you know when you really need to start thinking you should quit, and you shouldn't have that thought for a second before that. A second. You should not doubt yourself. You shouldn't question it. You should just continue to focus, grow, and work. Is at the 10-year mark. This is year 5. We're at the halfway. This is a pretty damn good place to be for a halfway before you actually can measure if you're doing something right or not. And that being said, the 10,000 hours, even unlike Logan Paul, something that we have in our 10,000 hours, Joe Rogan knows how to sit in the chair and talk. And I genuinely don't think I'm bad at that.
Right.
I'm working on that. I continue to get better at that. Watching myself and editing myself for hours talking helps me find the things that I'm bad at, consciously make notes, and try to grow.
Yeah.
But the thing that we have, Brian, that all of these talents I brought up don't. Mac Miller, any of them. Mac Miller knew how to write. Mac Miller knew how to get in there, maybe even make beats. But that dude wasn't throwing the knobs. He wasn't running the equipment.
Yeah.
I know how to do the social media aspect, doing the platform, YouTube, Rumble, learning a Wix website, creating a website. Now we're taking transcripts of the videos, using AI to... Dude, there's such a fucking concoction. I'm just burping and burping.
I was so happy that the milk chocolate, or the, it still tastes like milk chocolate.
Oh, it tastes so good. But shit, what was I talking about?
What light just went out?
It was the middle camera.
It was. I just had it. What Mac Miller doesn't have, learning all the social media and
right. So
the back end stuff.
Yes, beyond just the websites, the social media, then you have to learn the equipment. And then you actually have to get good at talking. I mean, Brian, it was incredibly impressive that I wasn't here, our regular co-host wasn't here, and you and Doug were able to bring in our remote guests from wherever they are at in the world, bring them in digitally, run a show from the studio, and keep all the spinning plates going. Play multimedia videos, change the different camera angles, and keep the ball alive while talking, having actually fruitful commentary.
Yeah.
All of those spinning plates are very difficult, and you guys were able to manage it, and we're only going to get better.
Right.
Last piece I have on this thought is this. This is a bit of an ego piece, but it's a prideful piece that I think is worth reflecting on.
Yes.
Out of all of the evolution we've talked about and how far we've come and where we're at in such a badass, very real studio, it is so cool when something in my life comes up that I work, skiing in Switzerland, whatever, where I can't be here.
Right.
To be on the other side of the planet and watch the Rethink Tank. Like, watch I'm watching the Rethink Tank.
Yeah.
And
You're
watching this mechanism operate on its own.
Wow.
Watching these people come in to an unlocked studio on their own,
Yeah.
set up the equipment, enough of showing them enough of how to run this room to where
and the vibe that you're going for.
boom, to where it's consistent.
Yeah.
That a user, an audience member doesn't log in on a given week and go, oh shit, he's not here. I'll see you guys next week. But the fact that we can keep a consistency and while it's different, still be enjoyable. And there's a beauty to buying the Wi-Fi on a plane, flying home or flying wherever, and watching you guys, watching my friends, but watching this thing operate on its own.
Yeah.
It goes to show that it's slowly growing to be bigger than me, than you. It's getting its legs. What I don't like is the bigger this thing gets, the more people talk about my mole, but that's just a me thing that I got to get over.
I do remember that.
Dude, it's just the numbers. The more it gets views, the more they're like, but I love it. I live for...
You should make a short on you commenting about it because you did... It was so early in the live series that you were like, I'm self-conscious of this. You talk to me about this and I think about myself and I don't like it. I feel very shameful. And I'm like... Oh, that's going to be a clip later. That's going to, I don't know. It's going to work out.
Dude, and again, what I also love is, like, I have this one Instagram short that's viral, right? It's just every day getting me more and more followers.
Right.
Okay. Every day I get 2 or 3 people that comment the same GIF of Austin Powers, like, mole, 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 mole. And I'm like, this is an added element that most content creators don't have. Like, I have gotten you to comment, which boosts the algorithm, a GIF that's just milling likes.
Yeah.
Like, more people are liking yours. You're getting notifications, so the algorithm's just jumping it more.
Right.
And really... this is God's best blessing to me. Like, it knows that your human nature will feed on what you think is something I should be ashamed of.
Right.
It's been a piece of me. Like, there was a point, I think it was before or during or right after law school.
Yeah.
My parents were like, well, you could just get it removed. And I'm like, I genuinely don't want to. This is me. It's and to me, I find a piece of charm in it. So if my piece of charm compels you to be such a keyboard warrior, to dive in on it, where else you would have in any other world would have just scrolled past.
Yeah.
I just got that little bit extra luckier in the pursuit that I'm trying to win.
Yeah. It's always with you and it's always not always. I said always twice and I didn't even mean it because I was looking for another word.
It's always
with you. And not that every person is noticing and wanting to comment on it. It is a characteristic that sticks out and people, it's an easy target to say, just like, I know you haven't seen it because I kind of commented on this morning and you didn't say anything. So, the Lizzo South Park episode.
What was that?
Oh, they're talking about Ozempic, which is a terrible,
right. So that just came out. I missed it. I gotta watch this.
Yes.
I gotta watch it. Okay, what's the comment they make?
So, Cartman, throughout all of South Park, the whole 27 seasons or whatever they're on now, Cartman has been fat. Okay, and the only thing that anyone has ever said when he says something just terrible about them,
shut up, fat ass.
Yeah, you're fat. You're fat fuck, and you just that's the only thing that anyone can come up with. Well, now he takes Ozempic and nobody can say anything. And I'm not going to ruin the episode by giving any more details, but it was the greatest someone
what was
who's
Lizzo's
watched,
commentary?
Oh, Lizzo posted a
reaction video.
A live reaction. A live reaction of her watching her tag because they referenced her. So she just watched the clip of
what's the tag?
So, those drug commercials where they say like, "Oh, here's Ozempic."
What I used to look like.
And I just started taking this drug, and it's got like the drug name on the bottom of the screen the whole time, and like, and now that I'm on Lizzo, I feel great. And
It's called Lizzo?
The drug is called Lizzo, and it's like, they did like a whole commercial on it, and it's her reacting. It's on social media. I saw it this morning. It's Lizzo reacting to it, and it just looks like she's like about ready to cry because she's so offended by it.
We're going to cut to it.
Cut the fucking album!
Are you living with concerns of obesity?
Ask about the power of not giving a fuck with Lizzo.
Period. That's crazy. I just feel like, damn, I'm really that bitch. I'm really that bitch. I really showed the world how to love yourself and not give a fuck to the point where these men in Colorado know who the fuck I am and put it on their cartoon that's been around for 25 years. I'm really that bitch, and I'll show y'all how to not give a fuck, and I'm going to keep on showing you how to not give a fuck. Oh, Lizzo, bitch.
I love that clip so much that it just kind of speaks like way louder than anything else could. Like, she's not really saying much, and I pulled up like there was a vote on it, and it was like thumbs up, thumbs down, laughing face, and like angry face. And I did the laughing vote because I thought it was hilarious and the episode was great. But there was a fair amount of thumbs down and angry faces that a fair amount being a very small portion, but more than I expected.
Okay.
Just a side note.
And within that same vein, I think something that's commendable about somebody like Lizzo is, like, again, if you watch this show hasn't been the kindest to someone like Lizzo.
Right.
What I don't have much empathy for is this false narrative. Beauty in any size.
Yeah.
No, you're dying. You're actually killing yourself. Something that is lending itself to why we shouldn't have universal basic healthcare is the fact that 80% of our medical bills are fat related. So back to rich men north of Richmond, I shouldn't be paying for your bag of Rolos that you can't put down. That's what I don't like, is her narrative that she propels to our children of being fat and how amazing it is.
And
At
that's
the same time,
that's something that the South Park episode really
I'm sure it does. But that all being said, a nice part about it is, or something I want to commend her for, is that she isn't ashamed of who she is. Right. And if there's one thing that is commendable, it's being, unapologetically you. Yeah. But also know that you're not a god. You are a human. So some of the things that are you is going to be imperfect and probably unhealthy. So if you're not on the track of consistent growth and wanting to better yourself, then probably you're just trapping yourself in an echo chamber that's unhealthy or unsafe. So you got to be careful with that. You got to be willing to question yourself. You got to be willing to grow and change. So let's bring this plane down to a landing site.
No, I got a few more things.
Go for it.
Oh, wait. Of this topic?
No, I was just going to close the episode out. So go ahead.
No, yeah. Okay, so I remember having a discussion with you about comments and me apologizing on behalf of the Rethink Tank for our words and our actions, and it actually turning into a more fruitful conversation than I expected, saying, you can have your opinion and we can have our opinion as a group, but we shouldn't have to apologize for someone's feelings on the outside world because they internalize something different than we would have.
Right.
And that kind of like opened my eyes to being less filtered, I guess, on camera, and just being real in what I'm actually feeling and what I'm actually thinking about, because there's a sense of when you first get on camera, you think about who's watching it and what are they thinking about me,
or what
talking
about my employer?
Yeah, that and just like, what do I want to be portrayed as? And it's like, I don't want to be portrayed as anything except a real human being who has.
Who I am.
And I've been through experiences, and some of the stuff might not reflect the way I want it to in that moment. But if you give me the time to explain and justify what I say, or answer any questions that aren't, that are bothering you, maybe that'll reflect better on me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because again, there was words I've used that will, instigate audience members. Like, we've had commenters that are like, oh, I can't believe you said that, or, whatever it may be.
Right.
And I can't control how you interpret what I said.
Yeah.
But here's what's funny. What is under scrutiny is being real. What the audience, what the market wants is real. They don't care as much of what it is as much as you being genuine, because we live in such a fake, faux world.
And that speaks outside of this podcast and anything that we might produce. It's being real in real life.
Yes.
That's all people want.
This comes back to the guy I started the show with. What made it the hardest was you being real in the room. This is what it is. And then the second that camera hit, you're a totally different human, pandering to the other side because you're so afraid of them. You're so afraid of being canceled. Yeah. And that's how they provoke action. That's how they've gotten control. That's the only reason they're able to cut children's wieners off is because they've made you afraid of saying those words. I love when I throw that in the show, and I know my mom or whoever's watching I can't believe he said that. You know what you really shouldn't believe? Like, if that made you uncomfortable, what really should make you uncomfortable is what they did to a kid. That should be way worse than me saying it. If what I said was bad, I would think the actual act of doing it should be even more gruesome. But they got you afraid, and that's how they got you to get in line. Back to, don't think, be a drone. Get in line.
Did you see that the Ted Cruz, the senator, tearing the new judge apart for, there was a serial rapist that was going around raping children, raping women. Yeah. A lot
of beeps.
He was doing all these horrible things, and this judge, I don't even know her name, was defending them, not in a direct way, but in a roundabout way, saying because he wants because he got a sex change or is transitioning or whatever, that he should be put in a women's prison.
Oh, yeah.
And he should be granted that right. And Ted Cruz was like, can we just acknowledge that is not a woman, basically?
What? How about the dudes that transition to a woman, go to a female jail, and then get the whole jail pregnant?
Right.
But they're a woman. That math don't math. Trust the science. Trust the science. There's a pandemic. Trust the science. Except when the dude's impregnating the whole female jail. I mean, dude, let's also acknowledge somebody like Bruce Jenner can kill a person.
Yeah.
By running them over with a car and then just change into a woman and be like, okay. Oh, yeah, no, that dude doesn't exist anymore. Hey, we're here for Bruce. We got a warrant. He killed a guy.
Oh, you just missed him.
There's no Bruce, just a Caitlyn. And guess what? He got away with it. That's one way to do it.
Hey, whatever boats your float, whatever works for you.
Yeah.
Going back to
Well, hold on, real quick. So, wrapping that thought, I like what you say. People want real, and I think you're better off being real and criticized than being fake and praised.
Yeah.
And what I appreciate is what you took away from the dialogue and these little moments where we have the chance to make each other grow.
Reframing your perspective.
And you going, here's what I can control.
Yeah.
I can't control how you interpret who I am.
Right.
So I can try to dance around and make you happy with how I look, but then I'm not who I truly am. Yeah. So one, I'm already lying to myself and I'm lying to you. So what's the purpose of having support from you when I'm not even who I genuinely am? But at the same point, what if I don't do that well enough? And so not only did I compromise who I could have been or who I should be, but now I can't control who you are. So even trying, the left always eats the left, and that's because you can never be liberal enough. Even the most liberal is so afraid of the fact that I'm not liberal enough. That's why I cancel other people just so they don't come and cancel me.
Yeah.
And so I like the takeaway of focusing on what you can control, because it's so easy when you're being exposed to so many different people, trying to pander to YouTube, Rumble, Twitter, all these different platforms and people. Like, I can't control how these platforms and people interpret me. But if I'm me, and I'm not defending and guarding my biases, acknowledging that I'm a human with biases, but then also liberate me from my ignorances, baby. I don't need to be right. I want to learn. And so I may confidently defend a position. It's not because I need to be right. It's because I want you to prove that I need to drop the current fact or mindset that I have and adopt a new theory or perspective. For me to do that, it must be faced with adversity and challenge. The free marketplace of ideas. Let all of the free ideas fight each other so the best ideas can resonate to the top. That's how I see it. And so I have no problem looking silly 5 years ago saying things that I don't necessarily agree with today, because that was my journey of growth. And the only way to get to the final boss, the final stage of growth and Socratic philosopher status, well, it's because you challenge yourself, were wrong long enough, but also willing to know that the smartest people know that. Why are they smart? Because they know all that they don't know, more than what they do know.
Yeah.
And so having a recognition of you don't know it all, but you're on this ever-evolving pursuit of growth.
Yeah.
That's what's going to help you transcend all of this.
I have 2 points off of that, and I don't know where this will go. The one is cheater calling out their spouse for cheating.
Like on social media?
No, just like in a relationship, you're a cheater and you're calling out other people for cheating, your spouse for cheating, and it's the defensive outlook on something that you don't know. You're trying to call someone out, the canceled trying not to get canceled, like the canceling people trying not to get canceled themselves. It's the cheater calling out their spouse for cheating, even though they're the ones that are doing the messed up adultery or whatever.
Yeah.
Going off of your latest point, I was watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I've been kind of binging that lately. And Peralta, the guy from Lonely Island, what's his face? Whatever. He slept with a defense attorney, and she goes, the next day, she walks in as the replacement defendant lawyer, and he's the cop on the case that he's whatever defending. And she goes, I don't care if my client is actually guilty of committing this crime. It's your job as the cop to have enough evidence and prove why. It's like taking proving that he did it. And it's taking I'm bringing that up because it's taking the side of, I have this perspective, and if you're not challenging me to why it's wrong, proving to me why I need to change my perspective, then A, you're not doing your job well enough, and B, I shouldn't have to change my opinion because you think so.
Right.
You have to prove to me why you think that and why I need to alter my opinion.
Totally.
Those were the two things that came out of that conversation that I wanted to address.
All right. Do you have anything else?
Yes. Going back to COVID and the pandemic, how children were, especially young children, were stunted in their socialization, and how off
they currently are
of a generation we currently have because of, being sheltered for a full year, longer than a full, and just the interactions with people and having their faces covered and just not going or not being able to give those kids the milestones that everyone else was granted.
Oh yeah, we're in a terrible spot, and the statistics are showing it.
That was
America.
That was a normal cherry tomato.
Yeah, I think we're back to that place.
I have one more topic that I would like to visit. It's on everybody's minds. We all have been wondering and pondering when this Tekashi 6ix9ine episode will come out. It has nothing to do with Tekashi 6ix9ine, but it's just the 69th episode of
I like that you brought that up, Brian, because it's funny. There has been probably 50 episodes? Well, now 30 episodes. I should do math. It was easily episode 69. There has been 31 episodes now where 69 hasn't come out. And it's been in the Rethink Tank vault.
I've heard things about this episode, and I am so genuinely interested, not to oversell it, but I don't know much about it, but I know enough to,
well, and so again, having breached it in the past, for those of you that don't know, this was during the craze of NFTs. And so the goal was to have it be a 99-cent NFT.
Yeah.
So you had to be in the crypto world, get this NFT, and it would get you access to the episode.
Yeah.
I wanted to put it behind a little bit of a paywall because it is a very it's just so far from appropriate, and it's one of those episodes that, okay, maybe my employer doesn't need to see it, but it is in the vault. And I always said, at least for the last 10 episodes, that come episode 100, we will release episode 69. So we have put together episode 69. There's a lot of fun that you can expect with that episode, a bit of a special, if you will. And it's going to be for $1 on the website. So on the Rethink Tank website, www.rethinktankpodcast.com, and you hearing this now means that episode 100's out, which means episode 69 is accessible. So if you head over to the website and click the big banner that says episode 69, you can take that bad boy over. There's a $1 paywall, and it's not because I'm trying to make money off of this. It's simply just for my protection, just a little layer. But it's a lot of fun, and it's finally here. Yep. And there's been much anticipation through a lot of our guests, so I appreciate you bringing that up because there has been a lot of that. And get excited because we finally get to indulge.
Don't mind me. I almost just ate my pen cap because I had a grape and pen cap in the same hand, and it seemed delicious. So,
was the pen cap still sour?
Pen cap was still very hard. Not much flavor on it. Very mild. One mushroom I did want to bring up is one mushroom I wanted to bring up is capsaicin. No,
No?
not capsaicin. Let me restart that one.
Oh, grapefruit's not good anymore.
One mushroom I wanted to bring up was cordyceps and how they would use it in the Chinese Olympic team back in, I think, the 80s. And they were wondering how, like, these women track stars were, like, going above and beyond, beating all these Olympians at the track and field events. And one thing that they said they do in their regimen is ingest cordyceps sinensis. And what it does is open up your oxygen blood flow, and it relaxes your lungs so you can actually intake more oxygen into your lungs.
Oh, wow.
And it does a whole bunch of other, like, very beneficial things for endurance and regulating your hormones and just promoting overall health. And that is one mushroom that I will always endorse because it is one of the only mushrooms that has literally zero side effects. And not that all these other medicinal mushrooms have side effects or concerns that you should really be talking to you should talk to your professional, your doctor, and make sure that you are a candidate that would work with these supplements. But that is one mushroom that no one has anything even remotely negative to say about. And I take it literally every time I'm doing anything athletic, and I can tell a difference when I take it and when I don't. Not that I'm like juiced up or amped up. It doesn't give you that energy. It just gives you that endurance. It doesn't give you any sort of tired feeling when you're feeling like I've been doing this for a while. I'm like very tired and achy in my workout. I'm just like running out of steam. It eases that right into, no, I could just keep going and I could keep hammering out whatever I need to do.
So bringing this episode to a close, capping it with how we started it, I do like now being in 2024, right? 2018, having any excitement or support for a team that exemplifies Native Americans. Not only us, but the Redskins. For some reason, the Chiefs, because of their logos not having any people on them.
And Braves.
And the Braves, they're like totally immune to this. Because I also think they know without it, they have no Native American representation. Yeah. So at some point, you need to accept that just Native American words aren't racist. Chiefs, Braves, they're just words. Tomahawks, those types of things aren't racist. It's the caricature. You're making a caricature of people. Okay, so the Indians, first it was the Redskins during the Summer of Love when we were throwing bar stools through Starbucks and, burning down our local cities and building up Chaz zones in the middle of, Seattle and other states.
Good times.
Yeah, good times. Summer of Love, baby, Summer of Love. So during that time, we did an overcorrection. Obviously, putting BLM on the back of the pitching mound just wasn't enough. So then they had to take the Redskins away. And it became the Washington football team, which was interesting. And honestly, they probably should have kept it that way because there is so little support right now for the current team name. But what's even more exciting, now fast forwarding to the end of this road, they've won. All these teams are gone. We've got the Guardians. What's the Washington team again?
Commanders.
That's it. And we've got the Commanders. But they're not getting the support they thought they could have had. They thought, we just make them support this team, the people will. That isn't actually what they're experiencing. In many respects, the people are having an adverse reaction. And so where we're at today, the there is a national association for Native Americans that like stands up for Native American rights and is an advocate group for Native Americans.
Indigenous people.
And they're located in Washington, in DC.
Wow.
And they have like 50,000 signatures of Native Americans, because the white man can't be on there, but they have huge support for not only bringing the name back, the Redskins, but they want the logo more than anything.
Yeah.
Logo's on the screen here. Different than Chief Wahoo, even though Chief Wahoo was based on Louis Sockalakis, admittedly, it being the red and everything else, it is more of a caricature. But funny, that's how cartoons are. Some would say the Pirates logo is a bit of a caricature, isn't really a human being. But that's neither here nor there. You're allowed to be racist towards him.
Yeah. Just a pirate in Somalia.
It's just a white pirate. Yeah, but if you made a Somalian pirate, it would be racist. Yeah. That's a great point. But the logo for the Washington Redskins was actually based off of an actual person. Right. And if you see it, it's a drawn out real picture of a person. Right. And so their argument is, we didn't want this removed. The hot, uptight liberals that spoke on our behalf, the white people, are the ones that were offended on our behalf. We actually weren't. And because of that, you've whitewashed our history, wiped away one of the few things where we actually saw ourselves. I mean, where else are they seeing representation? You're not seeing it in sports. You're not seeing it in the grocery aisle. So you have these people that they're going, we barely saw ourselves reflected in society as it was, and here was a real depiction of a real person in our history, and now he doesn't exist to anybody.
Just like Aunt Jemima.
Yeah, sincerely.
She's gone.
She gone. And guess what? We need to make the grocery aisle diverse again, because now it's just Quaker Oats guys and Peter Pan on peanut butter. But
Which is all the same company. It's all, if you seen those people that take pictures of the aisle and they're like, what is owned by a local company? And it's like, that one.
And everything else is like one major conglomerate.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though they own the 3 different types of peanut butters you could choose from, and you think you have choice, little you know, it all comes from the same place.
Same factory, same everything.
Dude, my uncle was on the line for bread, and he's like, from Wonder Bread to your Giant Eagle store brand, it is all off of the same conveyor belt. It's like... And we live in a country where our bread isn't even legally bred. Like, we actually couldn't sell it internationally because there's so much preservatives and fake crap in it that it's a totally different item.
Yeah, there's like well over 30 countries that have banned like pretty much all American food.
Brian, I saw a guy today, or just like yesterday, talk about how a watermelon at Costco is $18. He goes, you know you're in a camouflage slave state when the cost of a watermelon is higher than the base value of 1 human labor hour. Think about that. The use of 1 human labor hour is less than a watermelon.
We're just getting gutted.
That's our country.
Did you see Target and McDonald's are dropping between the two like 5,000 items, like over 30% of their
Target
prices.
might be getting getting rid of 20% of their goods, but they are still keeping their trans children clothes aisle. So don't miss out on that. Target, they care about you.
Tasty.
Brian, I need to thank you more than you know for all the time that you've given this through the days and your focus. This has been really fun, this episode, but just this project.
Yes.
There's a lot more to come. I appreciate you, the audience member, for listening to it with us.
For you, being you.
Thank you.
You're the one.
It was fun making a mess with you today. I really don't know what type of tizzy I put my belly into with just this concoction of goods we have here. But it was a lot of fun trying it out. I definitely do suggest to anybody that wants to have like a fun family like event, get one of these. It wasn't very expensive, and there's 10 of them in there, and you could really have a go at it, playing around, trying all these different things. A grapefruit tastes gross again. Oh, yeah. We've gone full circle.
Yeah, it takes like an hour for one of those pills?
Yeah, I'd say
45 minutes.
Full hour, 45 minutes. It's not like you're ruining your whole day with it. You'll be able to go back to having your regular meal for dinner.
Sardines, definitely one to try with lemon and extra virgin olive oil. Maybe don't keep it near your face because it smells pretty terrible, but...
But hey, you could also wolf them down like Brian. Brian literally took fistfuls at a point in this episode.
Recap.
The moment oh my God, and he just handful of sardines again. Oh, it's still so good. You're killing me. I gotta eat them while they're still good.
Yeah, and getting a different, a wide variety of different things to just try for yourself, because we were surprised by the baby bottle pop. We thought that would give us a little more.
That was an impulse buy, and it was disappointing that it didn't. It's cool to experience what we experienced, but it definitely didn't come out the way I thought it would.
Grapes were mild, and lemons and stuff didn't taste like lemons and stuff.
Yeah, the lemon was really good. The lime was like a goofy, enjoyable limeade, but it was still kind of sour.
And the moderately hot pickled jalapenos, that one really caught me off guard. That one of those was like lingering for like
and it was
5-10
much
minutes.
spicier than.
And I felt like I was sweating bullets.
Yes.
Off of just nothing.
Yeah, I mean, definitely try this. It was an experience, and having burned ourselves to the high heavens for episode 50, I couldn't have come up with a better way to send us off at such a milestone.
Please tag us in all your mBerry photos and videos.
Yes, seriously, try this. And if you give it a whirl, tag us or the Rethink Tank in it, because we'd love to check them out. Maybe we'll get you featured in some future live episodes or anything else. And
if we get enough, we could do a whole Rethink Actions on people.
That would be awesome to do a Rethink Actions episode of people doing the mBerry. Definitely check it out. It'd be a blast. And look in the pack, because it also gives you, I mean, we only did half of a lot of the great things that wanted us to try. Stout beer, barbecue sauce, balsamic vinegar. So, Brian, we've got more of these. So maybe another episode in the future, we do it again and address some of the ones on the list here that we missed, because sour cream, salt, chips, and vinegar, ketchup. I almost bought a bottle of mustard, but I'm like, I would be... We've got plenty of mustard at home. I don't need more mustard. But, that's another one worth trying. This was a lot of fun. It was fun recapping kind of this road we've been down. I'm excited to have episode 69 finally coming out. That's a silly, fun piece. I'm glad you brought that up.
Here, coming out soon.
And, Brian, it's a blast waking up every morning with you on Sundays, getting to start now that the weather's beautiful and we're not trapped inside, starting our day off at the ass crack of dawn and being able to have some fun and then have a productive day. It's really been a great part of my routine. I think it's really helping what we're doing here, and I thank you for the time you give us. And watching you grow in this space, at first it was slow, but it's because I'm so removed from where I was at 5 years ago. And seeing how, there's things that I had to grow and adapt. I'd get aggravated. How does he not see this? But the truth is, because you've never done this before. And having now, it's still not even done it a year, the strides you've taken and where we're at, it's so incredibly exciting.
And I couldn't have gotten nearly as far as in short of time that I have without your experience, your expertise, and all the support and the feedback. And I'm not a mind reader. You're really blunt about it. You tell me where I'm messing up, what I'm doing great, all the in-betweens, what you like, what you just didn't like, just the way things are and go, and working out just all the little kinks. And I think I wouldn't want to do this with anybody else. This is just top notch. This is where I want to be.
I couldn't have said it better. So guys, you can find every episode, all of this, all of our live shows, find it all on our website at www.rethinktankpodcast.com. We go live twice a week. We have podcast shows, all this content in one local place. But again, Brian, I couldn't be doing it without all the people around me, not only just my family, my friends, but specifically, there are people grinding behind the scene that I don't think the audience knows about or gets to actually see. So it was fun getting to have a little bit of a peek behind the curtain, behind the veil, and see how the soup is made.
Yeah.
And we're nowhere near where we want to be. I get that. But we're not at the starting point.
No.
We are going somewhere. Yeah. Where that is, I don't know. I mean, it could be to a concrete cell. Who knows?
But we got some lights out there. And they might not show us the way. We might not see the end of the tunnel, but we can see some stuff.
That's right. And the whole purpose of these live shows and the Rethink Tank is having you involved. Because the truth is, I learn from the couple people I do this show with, and that's still not enough. We still can continue to grow and balance ourselves because there's such a diversity of thought and opinion. And no, we may not ever agree. But what we definitely can do is develop an understanding and have an idea of why people think or act the way they do. And that helps us develop a more cohesive community because we've lost our sense of community. These actors that are against us have turned you against your neighbor so you don't realize that you share the same enemy. But one day, and hopefully through this pursuit and the spirit of this show, we're going to compel people to recognize that it's okay to get back to that world where you share a dining table with somebody that voted for a different president, that maybe sees the economy or guns rights or climate change differently than you, and yet you could still share a space. And again, while you may not agree, you may actually learn a thing from them. So
make sure to read your books, listen to your podcasts, and just really be open to people's opinions because you might not have the same experiences or opportunities that they have.
Perfectly said. So without that, guys, I appreciate you giving us your time, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace. Brian.